Hey, Tom here, Flip Anything USA. So I thought I'd just bring up the subject on crash bros and doomers. And what I find is most of these guys that are so negative on the economy, not that everything they say is wrong by any stretch, but people that don't invest in real estate really shouldn't tell people to not invest or when they should invest, because typically these guys usually don't have much for real estate holdings anyways. And I don't know anything particular about Michael Bordenero, but I know he's ex-realtor. From what I understand, he was an agent and didn't do too well. And then another one here, Reventure. Maybe some of you guys know him. Seems like a young guy. Probably he's too young to know, too much. I mean, he might be a historian on stuff, but going over the data isn't necessarily. It's not the same as being there. I can tell you that. And also, in fact, there's a video you just see about Zuber and the Doomers. I just released it. It's one we did together. But I was kind of just pointing out, how the Doomers and Zuber was wrong in this one particular deal. I like Mike, but and he's a data guy, but he had to pour through quite a bit of data to make that. I'm just being hypercritical. Wouldn't be fun if I wasn't, right? So and listen, I want to talk about this because, the doomers, right, or what I'll call this guy a doomer, right? Everything he's got, brokers reporting 45% collapse, mass sell-off, California going to hell, Georgia going to hell, and all this is true. But it doesn't mean don't invest. I mean, I've been buying real estate for 43 years, and I've been started in far worse times than we're even in right now, and worse in 2009 for sure. But and I've never filed bankruptcy. I've never gone broke. I've never not, and a lot of people think, oh, they listen to people that have gone broke. Listen, I don't like people that have gone broke. People that have gone broke they did something wrong, right? I want people that make money. That's who you want to listen to. Anyways, so again, we can watch one of these a little bit if you want. Whether it's downturns in any of these states, it doesn't matter. While he's talking about things going down, and I got to remember, most people that are watching are not really investors. At least not in my eyes. It's one thing you buy a house or you buy a property, you buy a few houses, or maybe you got a couple $1 million. You know what? If you don't have the criteria of buying under market, then you don't really know what it's like to be an investor because you haven't set a standard that's hard to achieve. When you buy property under market, and I buy property under market all the time, that is a standard that is hard to meet. Most people can't do it. And that's why you can see guys like Chris Crone and all these other guys in real estate, all of a sudden they're not really pushing hard for, they use other people's money in general, but even that doesn't go far enough. So I see a lot of guys, basically it kind of separates the men from the boys, so to speak, when it comes to experienced investors as opposed to fly-by-nights or guys that have only dealt with, an escalating market or an appreciating market. And believe me, values do go down and they go up. And the guys that have only made money while things are going up like a hockey stick, that's nothing to brag about. Anybody can throw some shit on the wall and it'll grow when that stuff. But now is the time you'll see. And I was even watching, who's the guy who was on Bigger Pockets? Not Brandon. Although Brandon, Brandon, I don't know where he came from. This guy's had $3 million worth of real estate, and now he says he's got $1 billion or 11,000 units or something. Again, I don't think he's got any real estate jobs. People might be surprised to hear me say that, but basically, I see a guy that hosted, basically a guru warehouse where everybody and their brother could say they know real estate, get on the shows, do their thing on Bigger Pockets, and people that don't know much about real estate, they think even just a little bit of information is valuable because they don't really know anything. And so it's very easy to fool people. And but with Brandon, like I say, when he says he's gone from $3 million worth of real estate to 11,000 units, I mean, I don't even have to think twice about it. It means he got hired doing his job at Bigger Pockets, and he amassed a following, and he used other people's money to buy property, probably at full retail, to be quite honest. And I can't say that's the case. But again, it doesn't take any talent to use other people's money to pay full price for something. That's not the way. And the other thing, the worst thing for you guys, is the thing is you hold the assets yourself. You spend the money yourself. You don't need to be part of a $1 billion or a multi-billion-dollar hedge or fund. You really just need. You just need to have, if you got 10 grand, then you just need to be a piece of a $25,000 investment. And you just got to buy it, 50% under market. And that's the key to making money, by the way. And that's why when I see these guys talking all doom and gloom, and sometimes they do, they'll go off to say, oh yeah, don't buy now. The market's too, the interest rates are too high. They're assuming that you're going to spend money, you're going to, buy foolishly. And some people will, but let's take this caller. I'm glad somebody's calling. Please call. Anybody. Hey, caller, you there? You there, caller? I don't. I'm not hearing it. Huh. Yeah, caller, I'm not hearing you if you're there. Anyways, so let's just jump around here. So I'll just show you a couple properties that I bought like we're in the worst of times, and I whatever you guys want to see, I can show you apartment buildings I bought in the toughest of times. Things coming back, made millions on apartments. It doesn't really matter. But let me just show you what I'm doing right now. I have 2 houses. I've been showing you. I told you I bought 4 houses in the last 6 months. And I have 2 houses for sale. One that I just bought 2 weeks ago, and I want to show you. Just give you an idea, so you'll see how I operate. Now, this is one of the houses. I just put this on the market. You can see a couple things I want to show you on this. Actually, is it's been viewed 476 times since I put it on the market last week. I put this up. I had a recommended valuation in here, or suggested in there somewhere that it was about a $476,000 property. Actually, it was 440 to 492. Well, so look, I put it up for 459. And had an open house that weekend, got next to no response. And what I did, I took it down $10,000 immediately. And then I waited 3 or 4 days. And then I guess what? I just took it down another $20,000. I'm not screwing around with it. And this is, if you get my book, if you don't have my book, you might want to get my book, Wake Up and Smell the... And what I did, down $10,000. Sorry, you can hear me now. And I guess what? I took it down another $20,000. I'm not going down with it. And this, if you get my book, if you don't have my book. All right, thanks, bud. I appreciate that. Anyways, so, but I want to just show you. I'm not going to. I mean, this is what people have. People say hodling, right? They're going to, people that kind of screw up and they buy stocks, they pay too much, or the thing goes, reverses on them. All of a sudden, they're hodling, meaning they're holding, and it's because they made a mistake. And so, like on this property here at 429, I'll still make almost $100,000 less real estate fees. If the real estate fees on this are only going to be about $20,000 but again, there's just no reason for me to play games. But I was telling you in the book, Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate, I think it's chapter 27. I call it leapfrogging. And leapfrogging can mean a couple things. Sometimes when I get on a property, depending on the situation, sometimes when you get in a situation where this property, like I'll give you an example. I got a property, I was there, it was on the MLS, I was first one there. They put up for $220,000. It's worth like $390. Agent didn't know what they're doing. And I'm like, okay, I'll give you $220. And I say, but I'm leaving town, but let's make a deal. And And then I'm like, I'll give you 230. I really want to just get this thing signed because they weren't moving. They wanted to show it to people. Because I know what's going to happen. By 5 o'clock that evening, everybody's off work. Every agent has already left messages for their, their prospects. And, we got a great deal, got a house. And that's pretty much what happened. And so I didn't get to make it happen that way. But if anything I could have done to close it immediately in that moment that day, I would have done it. But I doesn't always go that way. So I stick close to the agent, the selling agent, and I'm like glue with him. And I'm saying, hey, what's up? I thought if I give you a full price offer. I thought, he said, no, you look, Tom, they were making me, show it to others. And of course, it's starting to blow up. And then all of a sudden, I get blown out. Somebody offered, quite a bit more than I had. And I said, that's okay. I'll still take it. And I outbid that guy. And I said, but let's just close it right now. And I pushed him, and we ended up signing that thing 9:45 at night. And I wouldn't have got it otherwise if I hadn't persisted. But again, I made, and I got to show you. I'll show you this property too. Let's see if anybody wants to call in. We can try calling in again. Thanks, Michael. I appreciate it. I don't know what happened there. I don't know. Maybe it's not working right. Either way, next call doesn't work. I'll just shelve it. But I want you to see. You have to just. You can't throw good money after bad. And let me tell you, when you have money, it can be this is the best thing about business in general. And this is why I love, my commercial and industrial rentals, office rentals, people that are in business. I know that whatever they got to do to make it, they're going to do it. They'll change gears. They'll start doing something else. They'll do whatever they got to do to make it. If something becomes obsolete, they'll pick up a new product. And it's super important. But likewise, it's kind of facing reality. But when you have a lot of money, you can throw good money after bad. In other words, you can have something you really want to work and make out, and you can keep throwing good money after it to make it last. Now, most businesses can't do that. So they're there to make money, number one. And so they quickly adjust when they're not making money. So anyway, so this house here, by the way, you can see, if you guys want to see a quick tour in here, I'll show you. This is it, cleans up nicely. I put a new floor in, new base, painted all the walls, shot some crown molding in. And I got this at a very low price. I got it for $325. It was going to be in it closer to $320. And all I did was paint it, and I put down a new semi-cheap floor. Nothing fantastic, nothing too cheap. It already has 3 bathrooms, 4 bedrooms. So this is actually a pretty healthy sized house. Not at all my style. Very tiny backyard. Look how little that backyard is. I live on a compound, but nevertheless, relative to the area that it's in, we'll go to Street View. Let me get up here, and then let's go here. Heading out, son? Okay, son. I'll see you. So this property, this is the one. Like I said, I haven't even owned it a month. And it's right off, it's in a golf course area. If you look at it, I was going to show you this too on Zillow. And this is kind of a nice little tool for Zillow, just by the way. Here's the other house. I have this another house I put up for sale for $439, signed it, sold it for $420. And it's not closed yet, but they're kind of past, they're going to lose some money if they back out now. So I feel fairly certain that we are, we've got this one tied down and going to go. But what I was going to say is there's kind of a tool in here. Let's go to this other house I have. What I was going to show you is right here. Again, it's showing the stats on the viewers and the people that came in and looked at this. This one I already have. This one actually is not sold yet. The other one is. Okay, what happened here? So here we go. Public view. Yeah, so when you start looking at it, it's kind of half evaluating the neighborhood for you as you run through this. You can see it's telling you it's 8 days. This has been on Zillow, meaning it's been listed. Now look at here. See this here? It says likely to sell faster than 100%. In other words, I have this thing priced lower than everything else in the neighborhood, and that's why it's given me this indication. It says our algorithm analyzes data including nearby home sales, property details, engagement to estimate how fast a home will sell. This is based on home information, I guess from theirs and from the MLS. But the bottom line is I have this price cheaper per foot than everything around it. And guess what? That's where I want to be. I'm not, this is the whole point around leapfrogging, is that you jump ahead and you make it cheaper than everything around you, because everything is trending down right now anyways. And so I might as well jump, $10, $15, $20,000 ahead, make this look like a better deal than everything else, because by the time somebody makes a deal and buys it, by the time it closes, it'll probably be worth that discounted price that I gave them. And believe me, this is a strategy. It's hard to do. A lot of people just, they can't do it. They can't, they can't do it. And the other thing is you think, if I jump ahead and like this price here, it's this, see I cut it from $449 to $429, and then I took it down another 20,000, I think 419 or 420. I don't know what I sold for it now. I think I sold it for 420, maybe it was 425. But the bottom line is, even if I did put it like really low, that's okay too. I do that sometimes. And I just don't jump on taking the first offer that comes across. I let a few of them get involved, and then it becomes a little bit of a bid war. And then it'll start to bid the price up. So in other words, there's two strategies. You can, and this is really good stuff that I'm sharing with you, just so you know. You can put a property up if you put it at or about what's, what the fair value is, which I don't like. I like it lower than that. But even when I'm selling it, right, I put up at fair value. But I'll put a little sad line in the beginning saying, I'll tell my agent, I say, listen, tell him owner motivated, so that everybody can see. I want them to smell a little blood, like, oh, he's flexible. I want them to know that I'm flexible. That's why I started a high price, and I'm saying, without saying I'm flexible, I'm saying owner motivated means I'm flexible. Hit me with an offer. So then the other part of that is, if it doesn't happen right away, then go ahead and take 40 grand off, in this case, what I did, and now all of a sudden it gets a lot more attention. We can see the interest coming up on it, and maybe 2 people, 3 people will be interested. Maybe offers will start coming in at full price because it's so low, and now one or the other will outbid the other by 5 grand, 10 grand, whatever. Or you just find the guy that's the strongest with the most cash that can close the quickest, which is probably my primary concern right now, is getting this. By the way, sign up for the free webinar. See free webinars Thursday, 7 p.m. I'm doing more webinars again. It's a wonderful thing being able to sit and talk to folks across the USA. But go to flipanythingusa.com/webinar. I'll show you real quick on the page. Super simple. And guess what? You'll be talking with me like that in a private phone call. No big deal. I'm happy to share with anybody that's interested. It's kind of like going to be my legacy, is helping people, sensible, smart people make money in real estate. And I've got tons and tons of people now that have done it in my class. Urge you to watch these testimonials. Many, many millionaires already. I've only been mentoring for 3.5 years, got many, many millionaires, many 100,000-aires, 10,000-aires. A lot of people have made money right off the bat. That's the key thing. Oh, hey, Nitin, I remember we talked. Hey, Tom, I was wondering if you still offer the bonus chapter for the book. Yes, I do. I was able to finish it last night. Loved all the great forms and contracts you provided. Thanks, Nitin. Yeah, listen, you can go, since I got you on here, just go to the front page here. Here's a little hack on the website, guys. Go here to the bottom, right? Where'd it go? Here you go. Just fill this out right here. Nitin, see that at the bottom of the front page? And you'll get the bonus chapter, and you'll have it. In fact, even if you don't have the book out there, folks, you guys can actually go in here and you can sneak a chapter, but you'd be missing out on the book, which is really, really the most important. Yeah, offers seem a lot less complicated. Yeah, so Nitin, you'll learn a lot. Listen, the reason I've had such great success with my class is because it's really about common sense. You guys know I'm pretty, soft-spoken, just straightforward guy. I can't even do fluff. You know, I'm a businessman. As soon as I get a job, I like to get it over with, get it done. If I make a deal to buy a house, I want to get it paid for. I want to get it sold. That's my job. And with students, same thing. I want to get you educated as quickly as possible. So there is no fluff. There is no bullshit. And this is why my students have done so well so fast, is because I'm accessible. And I want to show you something, just because this kind of says it all. Now, this is a young guy, Rich. Really love Rich. He's a new father now too. And but what I wanted to show you is right. Where is it? So listen what Rich says here, because this is the key to success, and this is what fake gurus can't do. They can't mentor. But let me make sure you can hear the audio here, guys. Watch this real quick. Watch what's said here. What's going to scroll in between Rich and I here is going to be the texts, all the 100 texts probably that went between us in him making $1.5 million. Okay, he's made $1.5 million. Three pieces of property, but he made over $1 million. He rolled those into the purchases, and this is tax deferred, so you don't have to pay any taxes. Got to postpone it, but he took his $1 million+ profit and rolled it into the purchase of 5 buildings, 3 commercial, 2 industrial buildings. And now listen to this
number. So being able to reach Tom, being able to reach out to Tom when you're in a crunch is very vital. I ran into that on on the warehouse that I bought. I was running into an issue where there was an environmental study, and I was kind of freaking out about it because the bank was not going to want to do the deal, because if it didn't pass the phase 1 inspection, they weren't going to do it. So I was able to have Tom on.
So what I want you to see is, you see those texts going through there? That's him writing me saying, "Hey, I got this. What do I do? What do I do here?" It might be a phone call in between some of those texts. But I'm just very proactive. Listen, I take it harder now on my students losing a deal than I would. So I'm very, very proactive. I want everybody to win, make a deal, make some money. There's nothing like when you see somebody make $100,000 and they've never made $100,000 on a piece of property. The only money they've saved $100,000. That took a long time. Now they made $100,000 like that. And let me just tell you, it's a weird phenomenon once you start investing. You first of all, you can't believe you're going to make a deal happen. Then you make a deal happen. Then you're going to go, gee, can I make it happen twice? Can I make another deal happen? And that becomes and then you make that happen, and then pretty soon, you know what? After you make hundreds of thousands of dollars, you start to realize, guess what? This is not luck. This is a process, and that's what I'd give you. I give you the process that works for me. You got to have the fundamentals. A lot of you guys know I'm in jiu-jitsu. I'm a brown belt now. It took 8 years to become a brown belt, and and a lot of work. I roll 3 times a week. But mostly with black belts, and that's the beauty. When you're in my class, guess what? You got a master here, and then you've got guys in the class that are just all over the place, and very, very, very talented group, and becoming more talented all the time within the class, and you just be blown away. Typical thing is people in my class that when they do invest, before you know it, they have more cash in their hands than they've ever seen in their lifetime, because they've never played with real estate, and now they follow the fundamentals. All of a sudden they make $100,000 or $1 million. Believe me, I got students in here that made over $1 million on a single deal, over $2 million on a single deal. It's a very cool thing. DC Ventures wrote, "I showed up late. Do you acquire these off market?" Everything. DC, I do it. There is no one way. A lot of people say, how do you do it? And it's impossible to answer in one sentence. I've been doing it for 43 years. There's a lot of tips, a lot of tricks, and a lot of cool stuff that you will learn that nobody really knows about. You can only know about it by doing for decades. And one of the things I'll show you, what can I show you? I don't know. What's your interest, DC Ventures? What do you guys, right now, just those of you guys watching, what would you like to have right now? Just throw something out there. Do you think you'd like to own some apartment buildings? Do you think you'd like to own some industrial buildings, commercial property, offices? Just, tell me what your dream asset is at the moment. I remember when I was a kid, I dreamed of just having a little house in the mountains and a big garage where I could build cabinets, because I was a cabinet maker, right? Wanted to build cabinets, have my place paid for. And now that dream, of course, is long gone. It's much, you want to own land, okay? You want land, Alex. And, when it comes to land, and by the way, let me show you, here's one of my
They're all
better
different
land
models.
guys.
Like I say, it can be dirt. It could be a mobile home or a trailer park. It could be a food park. It could be any number of things that I've owned. I love.
Josh here's made more than $1 million now.
I've got a really great guest here, especially
with land.
To me,
And that's what he
especially
came in the
because
class to learn. He
he's
want to learn about land and
in my
subdivision, and he already
mentorship,
has some
and he's
talent
made a
in that
lot of
area
money.
anyways.
And
But
this is Josh.
He's just
Josh, thanks
been
for
a
being on
rock
the
star
show.
at it now. And,
Thanks for having me.
And other guys have too, have made, $1 million on a piece of land. I've got 2 students that come to mind. Eric, where's Eric? Here's $1 million on a building. See, I can't even keep up with all of the student success stories. I can't even keep up with it. There's more here that aren't even in here. But whether it's land, a lot of people like I just talked to Randall today, which Randall, I hope to hear from you. And that's common. Guys that want to, they bought houses and stuff, and they realize houses are useful. And I buy houses pretty regularly, but I don't hold them. And I make my money the day I buy it, and I just flip it, take the money off the house. But the stuff I want to hold are the bigger buildings, like, commercial, industrial, offices, some people are afraid of offices, it's because they're just fear. They just have fear. There's nothing to be afraid of offices. But let me see. Yeah. So anyways, I was looking for some land millionaires. That's a land millionaire. Oh, here it is. Yeah. So look at this.
You have to get it from the internet, and the internet's not always the best source.
He made $800,000 on a trailer park. Bought it for 80, sold it for 880.
Hey Tom, it's Eric. It's great to be able to share this video with you. I just want to thank you for your help. And last week I closed this deal, a huge deal that I had been working on, and it was great to be able to reach out to you. Your mentorship has been great, man. Having the calculators in there, the members forum, access to you by phone for critical support. It was just great to
see. That's the difference. I know you guys are afraid, right? You're afraid, and listen, you should be, right? You should be afraid of doing the wrong thing, and you got $100,000 or $50,000 or whatever you got, and you don't want to make a mistake with it because you know how hard it was to earn that much money, and that's what's nice is I try to tell people, look, you got $50,000, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, you need to spend $5,000, $10,000 to learn what to do with it because you're at the mercy of so many fakes out there and bad advice. And somebody think, oh yeah, YouTube University. Listen, YouTube University is shit. If you don't know what you're doing, you get shit on, and that's just how it is. Marshall Road, I just found you 2 weeks ago, and now see you talking to Zuber, who I've been watching for years. Oh, thanks, Marshall. Yeah, I like Michael. Anyways, and we're very different, we're very different, and I've been doing this for 40 something years. And so I've had lessons, that a lot of guys have never seen. Particularly I started in super high interest rates. And I've seen things, drop like a rock and go up like crazy. And that's what's hurting us right now is, this, believe me, the interest rate doesn't bother me as high as it is. What's throwing everybody off is the fact that it changed so drastically so quickly. It jumped up 3 or 4 points in a very short amount of time, and then all these other people that have been involved with real estate that don't have my history, big guy. Ben Mall is one of them. Ben Mall, he's been doing it 30 years. He missed that decade. He missed the high interest rates, and so I don't think he had the fear in him or respected the fact that they can change so drastically so quick, and so he got complacent, and now he's paying for it terribly, paying about $500,000 a month in interest that he wouldn't have paid otherwise if he'd have refied or maybe dumped a few things. But it is what it is. But so Alex, you think you want land? Well, the problem with land is it doesn't. Unless you uniquely situated, it's probably not going to make any money, right? So I like things that that rent, right? And when you guys first begin and start, and I'm not saying exclusively. because I've flipped a lot of land. I've flipped more than 100 pieces of land. And, I've made anywhere from $10,000 to $2 million on a single piece of land. And so I love land. And in a lot of things with land is a lot of times you can find lots that are $10, $15, $20,000 that you can sell for 30. So it's really easy to double your money with investments under 100 grand. Anything under 100 grand, super easy to double your money. And it's just because there's just more of those, and I don't know, a lot of it falls into lots and things, and there's just opportunities a lot of people don't see. Hey, Dennis, I'm glad to see you in here too. Dennis in the class, Trucker, and Dennis, I tell you, we got such a great group, and not everybody can be there every weekend when we meet on Saturdays, but those that do love it, and then if you miss it, it doesn't matter. You can go back and watch it. And you watch people become millionaires like Eric here, and other people have become millionaires right in front of you. When you're in the class. And believe me, everybody that's in this class, because all these people you see here, some of them have been in my class for 3.5 years. 3.5 years, and they're still coming. And so it's a beautiful thing. Alex, thank you, Tom. It's build house, small business warehouse, rent my actual property, then acquire more properties down the line to flip them. Yeah, so Alex, look, I'm a builder too, and there's a time to build. Sometimes there's opportunities where you have to build to get the opportunity that's before you. But, the beauty of buying the way I do and my students now do is, we buy for less than construction cost, and there's so many things, and you'll learn so much. By the way, sign up for the class. Everybody here, go to, just do this real quick because I don't want to lose you. Go in here and apply for mentorship right here. You can hit apply for mentorship or you can hit webinar. It doesn't matter to me. I would say apply for mentorship is probably the best one because it tells me the most about you, and then I'll invite you to have a quick call, and I'll give you the best information I can give you. I don't care if you join the class or not. I just don't want you to make a foolish mistake and get burned and hurt, because there's nothing worse than seeing a young person lose $5,000 that doesn't have $5,000 to lose. And then and then this happens by fake gurus all the time. And then the next thing you know, they get two nickels to rub together, bad information. In fact, I understand Pace Morby. I'm understanding that as soon as you get into a Pace Morby class, as soon as you get in, after you spend $8,000 or $10,000 or $11,000, first thing they tell you is no negativity, no negativity. What's that mean? It means don't complain, don't complain or you're out. So people are afraid to complain. It's quite a racket. Well, a trailer park, 34 acres for $80K. Yeah. No, the 34 acres is different. That's his second $800,000. Okay, they're separate deals. Listen, it's everywhere. Look. I've made millions of dollars on pieces of land, and now in my class, several other people have made $800,000. I have several people in the class that made over $1 million on single buildings that they bought. And if you don't buy a ticket, you can't win, right? You got to buy a ticket. And when I say buying a ticket, I'm just saying apply for the mentorship right here. Get in a webinar. You can talk to me face to face. Easiest thing is apply for mentorship, because then you might almost get like a private webinar, because I will talk to you. I'll talk to you privately. And, it is a private thing. A lot of people don't want to share openly in a class, and I don't even ever ask anybody about money, in front of each other. Hey, Kelly, good to see you in here. Kelly also, military background. She's in the class too. Glad to have Kelly in here. Know she's going to do great things. Nitin, you should really consider it, because I remember you. I think you were a good candidate, as I remember. I think you were a good candidate, and not everybody is, but you were. And so I would just tell you, if fill this out. Just fill this out right here. I don't have any salespeople. You will not be bombarded. I know a lot of people say, "Oh no, I got on a Chris Crone list and I get an email every day." And from different people, from different job opportunities, different opportunities, and I know they're relentless, but listen, I don't do that. I don't sell your list, my email list. You talk to me and that's it. And I don't even, if I ever feel like
if I feel like I have to tell you anything twice, you'll never hear from me again, because that's not how I operate. I'm here to help people that are hungry to learn. You got to be hungry to learn. Hungry to learn, I'm your man. So let's talk on that land for a second, because I want you guys to see the potential of what can happen. So like here's a piece of land out here. Yeah, so look, here's a piece of land. It's covered with houses now. But this what you see right here, this is a $200,000 right here. I paid $205,000 for this piece of land right here. Actually, it goes like that, and then like this. Anyways, it's that property you see right there. I bought that for $205,000. I sold it for $2,850,000, and I held it for a while. The mistake I made with this one, and these are things. This is for free, right? Take the money and run. I should have just made the $1 million in 1995 when I bought this. Instead, I held on to it and I made about a couple million more. But that was a mistake, because the money that I could have used at that time, I could have made far more than I could have. Holding this for 15, 20 years, making $2.5 million is not a bad deal, of course. But if I'd have just taken, it was worth $800,000-900,000 more than what I paid for it. If I'd have just taken that money right away, I could have bought maybe this industrial park over here. You know what I mean, with the money down, or I could have bought this building over here. And these are the kinds of things that you can do, and these are the lessons I've learned that I will prevent you from making the same mistakes. And when I say mistake, a mistake in this case is I should have made the $1 million back in 1995 instead of $3 million 20 years later. These are all important things to know about. And if it doesn't feel like Christmas, you don't buy it. That's a simple way to put it. But you guys, I try to get people to learn how to, you can make money on the houses, and a lot of times I'll buy the houses and keep them in one entity so I can do a reverse 1031. A lot of people don't know what that is, but the bottom line is you take those 3 houses and roll those into the sale of a bigger building. Like, I got 3 houses that I paid about $400,000 for, all 3 together. Paid $129 a piece for them. Well, I sold those 3 houses for about $1.8 million. And made, millions plus on those 3 houses. But I rolled those profits into buying this building right here. And prior to buying this building, I was only making about $4,500 a month on those 3 houses. But after I converted those 3 house assets into this big building asset that you see right here, now this tenant pays me $12,000 plus it's a triple net, so I get $15,000. $15,000 a month rent on this place, which technically $12,000. The other $3,000 is for taxes and insurance. It's a triple net lease. But this is what think about that. $400,000, turns into 1.8, turns into buying something for 1.6 that's worth 2.4, and all of a sudden you got one property. 3 houses all of a sudden turns into one property, 100% paid for, making $144,000 a year. Not a bad return, right? Okay, Virgil Road. Hey, Tom, went and saw a property yesterday. Didn't make a deal yet, but I did make a good contract for the future. Good. I'll be one of the stories one day soon. Yeah, I know you will, Virgil. Yeah, and it's great. Like I say, Virgil will tell you, when you get in the class and you see other people making so much money and making things happen, it's infectious. It's like it keeps you motivated. It keeps you motivated, and it's a beautiful thing. And I'm really, really, proud of the class and really happy that I'm happy I went ahead and created. Look, this is one neighborhood. That's just one neighborhood. I bought 22 homes in that one subdivision. Okay, and I just had Spencer Cornelius. Spencer Cornelia. I screw it up every time. Anyhow, he happened to be here in Austin. He looked me up, and I gave him and another buddy a tour. And I asked him, he says, he says, well, is there anybody like you? I said, I don't know anybody that's done what I've done with this. They can buy, I said, but you can confirm that you can chuck a rock. And so I took him for a ride, and I showed him that you can literally, property after property, a rock's throw from each other, tens of millions of dollars of real estate, covering land, commercial, industrial, office, residential. And so I was glad he got to witness that. And we got it on video. I'll be sharing that video with you guys pretty soon. Yeah, Alex, good. Glad that helps. Maui Kid, are you dealing a lot with wholesale? No, not really, man. Listen, I wholesaled a couple properties because the money is in buying. The money is in purchasing the property and then reselling it. And, wholesalers, man, I'm just telling you, 99% of them, they just get, hyped into things and they just waste their time, spin their wheels. Everybody gets sold the same stupid AI lists, and then they call the shit out of all these people and just piss off people. And, once in a while, maybe somebody gets lucky. But for the most part, you can't compete in my hood. You're not going to take anything from me anywhere. If I live in the area, you ain't going to take anything from me. And that's what, you'll learn is the advantages you have by staying near stuff, by being local. You don't have to jump across the country. You look at these properties. Look at that. All of this stuff is very close. And we're talking everything, right? I mean, these are apartment buildings, right? Those are apartment buildings, paid hundreds of thousands, sold for millions. Here's an industrial building. I paid hundreds of thousands, sold for almost $2 million. These are the kinds of things you can do. You just need a little help. You just need a little guidance. And I know that, and I understand that. And I can see how well the people do that do it. These are houses and buildings. I have a building here. I built this building right here. That's a beautiful building right there. It's 16,000 square feet. Across the street, I own more property. I own a school over here. That's 20,000 square foot. What we call a flex space. Really love flex properties, by the way. And a lot of my students are now buying flex properties because they now know about them. And you guys can be part of that. So look, hey, again, please hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Helps the channel. But really, number one, take a minute, guys. Take a minute. And I'd say this, it's not because I don't care about the money. I'm telling you, I don't care about the money. But you need to see what you're missing. You might see it and go, this isn't for me. Fine. But if you don't take a look, I'm just telling you what's at stake. You've got the potential to become a millionaire in a year, 18 months. And I say that with confidence because people are doing it in my class. You have that possibility that can happen. Maybe that doesn't matter to you. If it doesn't, I get it. But there is nothing. I personally don't know of anything more powerful than real estate to make you rich. There's a tremendous inventory. You never run out. Look at that. Look at that inventory. Every bit of this is going to turn hands. It's going to go into somebody else's hands. Every single piece. Nobody lives forever. Everything's going to change hands. So anyways, I'll leave it at that. Again, please, sign up for the mentorship or just click on webinar, get into a free webinar. May even do one here tomorrow night. So just, sign up for the webinar, sign up for the mentorship. I say sign up for the mentorship because, there's no commitment to it. But then I know more about you and we can talk. So anyways, thanks, everybody. Look forward to seeing you soon.
And listen, time is on a mission to eliminate all of the snake oil and the fake gurus that fake y'all. He'll show you how to build an empire, starting with nothing but a desire. All you really need is a good mentor, not a used car bullshit. With time, you'll learn to crush it. Investing like Warren Buffett. With real estate, you cannot procrastinate. Everyone who hesitates is left at the starting gate. Hey, yo, so don't delay and join today. The mentorship and flip anything. USA, go.